I'm going to start recording. There it is. All right. So beautiful Nichkes on this wonderful falling leaves day as we enter that lunar time where, of course, our beautiful mother, the earth, puts on her most beautiful colors for us. And what are those beautiful colors, my friends? We'll often see them in red and orange and yellows. And that beautiful time is this reminder to us that how much our mother, the earth, loves us, that she puts on her best dress for us. So what I'm going to ask you, my wonderful friends, is this, all right? So maybe at some point during our time together, my Wi-Fi might drop and I might go like this. But don't worry, I'll be back. 20 seconds, I'm back here. Now, if you have unstable Wi-Fi, I encourage you to keep your video off, okay, my friends, and your audio off, okay? So I encourage you to do that. Now, gorgeous friends, I have a couple of things for you, my friends, all right? A couple of things for you. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do, my beautiful friends that are on the other side, all right? So if, my beautiful friends, you are enjoying this beautiful falling leaves moon day, give me a sign, any sign. I want you to pick a reaction, my friends, whatever reaction that you got on your own Zoom screen. Oh, we got hands, we got hearts, we got party symbols. Yes, we do. Thumbs up all the way around. Falling leaves moon people, you are people of my heart. Now, beautiful friends, I'm going to quickly share my screen with you, okay? Quickly share it, and then we have a couple of activities. So if you're like, oh my goodness, I thought I was coming here to be able to listen a bit. Well, my friends, you're going to be listening, you're going to be interacting, and you're going to be doing a couple of activities with me. So bear with me. I'm going to share my screen, my beautiful friends. And as I share my screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know, again, a couple of things, all right? So you should be able to see right now, okay, a PDF. Now, this is the PDF that I'm going to be using, and I will be dropping it into the chat, okay? I'll be dropping it into the chat. But you are here today, my beautiful friends, to, again, be engaged, again, to embark on a journey. And this journey is all about truth and reconciliation in K-12. All right, so here it is. We're on Nisswaakamaq time, which is again here in my area, Sudbury, Ontario. All right, and not only that, this is being put on by the Ontario Learning Network. The other thing that you need to know, my beautiful friends, is that this PL activity is made available to you by OECM. And what you can do is that if you want to see what the values are of OECM, kindly go to their website. Again, my friends, you have the ability to rename yourselves because we do intend to record these sessions to make them available to you for, again, for further professional development. All right, my friends, moving forward in a good way. So I'm going to stop sharing there because I have an activity for you. Oh, my beautiful peepsters. Now, here is the activity, and I'm going to share my screen with you because we're going to create a visual organizer together. All right, so you can use a device, your phone, your notes, or whatever it may be. Or maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going old school and I'm going paper and pen. All right. No wrong way to do this. Okay. No wrong way. So I'm going to share my screen and use my whiteboard and show you what we are going to be drawing together. Okay. So let me show you. All right. There's my beautiful whiteboard. So you should be able to see it in front of you. Now, beautiful friends, as that whiteboard is in front of you and you've got your devices ready, okay? You've got your beautiful devices ready to work along with me, all right? So as you've got everything set up as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also start drawing to show you what we're going to be drawing together. We're going to be using the whole surface of a piece of paper or else of our notes, again, our notes applications. So what I would like you to do, my beautiful friends, is we are going to draw a beautiful circle. Okay, so draw your beautiful circle. Now, maybe your circle is a bit lopsided like mine, and that is okay, my friends. That's okay, but draw your circle, my friends. I want you to take that beautiful circle, and I want you, again, to respectfully divide that beautiful circle, okay, into 4 sections. So again, draw your circle. Okay, so you're going to draw it. Okay, beautiful circle on a piece of paper. Here I'm modeling it on the whiteboard. You're going to divide that into 4 beautiful sections. Now, next thing you're going to do very small numbers though, very small. You're going to put 1, okay? You're going to put the number 1, the number 2, all right? And it's in no distinct order. Number 3 and number 4. So try that. Draw your circle, label your quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now I am going to stop sharing right there because you've got that beautiful visual organizer. So my friends, what do we call this visual organizer? Today, we're going to call it the sacred circle, all right? The sacred circle. Now, here's what you're going to do in that sacred circle, my friends. So go to number 1, all right? So go to number 1. Now I'll ask you, all right, so now I've got someone that I'm gonna have to mute, and I'm sorry, my friends, if I've got to, because I'm hearing a bit of feedback, all right, no big deal. Now, what I'm gonna ask you, my beautiful friends, is this. Go to number 1, okay? Number 1 on your beautiful sacred circle, all right? What I'm going to have you do at that sacred circle in number 1 is I want you to put the name, okay? The name that you would like to be called by, okay? So the name. Not only that, okay, because this is all about naming and place, all right? So I'm gonna pull it up again, pull up my own beautiful sacred circle. And at number 1, you're going to put the name you'd be like to be called by. Now, I prefer to be called Pam. Not only that, you've got the name you'd like to be called by. Now we're gonna, again, name our place. So where are you located right now? Okay, where are you located right now? And I am located in Nesswakamuk, okay? And that is also known as, and here I go outside of the circle, no big deal, that is also known as Sudbury. So here is the visual organizer we are working with today, all right? So today, that is it. Now, beautiful friends, all right? Beautiful friends. So number 1, name, and also, of course, in that first quadrant, where you're joining us from today. All right, so little thing I want to talk to you about, okay? So move in closer, move in a bit closer, okay? Move in. Now, here's something I want to talk to you about, and it's land acknowledgements, all right? Land acknowledgements. You probably hear them at school. Yeah, hear them at a hockey game. Maybe you see them on outgoing emails. Now, here's the thing about land acknowledgements, all right? And this is all part of the journey of truth and reconciliation. Now, land acknowledgements, all right, are critical, right? Why are they? Because they help us to move forward in a good way. But here's the absolute important underpinning of a land acknowledgement is that it gets us to think about this question. What does it compel me to do? So I'm going to give you an example. All right. I'm going to give you an example. Here I am, right? Here I am. And I am located in my own traditional territories. I'm in the sacred lands of the Anishinaabe people, which is my people. Not only that, my treaty territory is the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850. Now, when I go any place else, okay? So again, to any other territory, I want to know whose nation's territory it is. Because just because I'm Anishinaabe doesn't mean when I go into another nation's territories that I'm automatically a guest, right? I'm not. I'm a visitor. Because here's what it is. A guest, all right, tells us that we've been invited. All right, so I am a visitor. So that's what I will often say is that I'm a visitor into the Dish with One Spoon treaty territory until I have been invited in by a member or by the community. So a land acknowledgement, what does it compel me to do? I want you to go to number 1, and I'm going to help you bridge this, okay? So even if you don't know the treaty territory that you're located in, that's going to be a task for you to figure out. But I want you to think about your place, okay? Think about your place. Look around you, look outside, look on the floor. Maybe you got your pup or cat there. Look in the kitchen. Maybe you've got neighbors or kids or somebody in there. But what is it, okay? What is it that you love about your place? You know, is it your lawn, being outside? Is it your deck? Is it the people inside? Who is it? So at number 1 on that quadrant is your name, where you are coming in from. And number 3 is Again, what do you love about the place you're located in? Okay, what is it? All right, so you're writing that. Okay, that's number one. So this is where we need to begin, my friends. All right, we need to begin this way because moving forward in a good way starts with, again, knowing who we are. And you might be like, come on, that's really the first step in truth and reconciliation. Yes, the greatest gift that we can give to truth and reconciliation is to know ourselves. So who are you, right? We'll get people say, well, I'm Canadian or I'm a permanent resident, but I compel you, move away from, again, this whole pan-Canadian naming that makes your own beautiful story invisible. If you're going to say that you're Canadian what, right? Who are you? What is your original lands, your original languages? What are the stories, the challenges, the hopes and the joys that come with generations before you? All right. So what are those hopes, stories, and dreams? That is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself and to truth and reconciliation. Okay. That is the greatest gift. And it is important to know that, because once you do know that, that whole term Canadian will mean so much more to you. And not only that, my beautiful friends, then you can enter into truth and reconciliation in a good way, because you'll be like, okay, I get the importance of name, place, and knowing my own story and being connected to it, because this is how I am going to walk in this journey. All right, beautiful friends. Now, here is what I'm going to have you do. I want you to go to the chat. Oh, yeah, beautiful people. Okay. Now, here's your choice. Okay. Here's your choice. You always have the right to say, I'm not doing any of that. That's okay too. But go to the chat. Now, what you can do at the chat is you can put down, okay, the name you would like to be called by, or where your place is. So where are you coming to us from today? Or you can tell us, what is it that you love about your place? Go to the chat, friends. Go to the chat, type it in now, and just make sure, okay? Or don't type at all, okay? So let us know, who are you, okay? Loving it, my beautiful friends. Oh, Maureen, waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. All right, so take a look, beautiful friends. Put it in the chat, all right? What do you want to be called by? Or else, where are you placed right now? Or what is it that you love about your place? Okay, so take a look at the chat. Thank you. Listening to the rustles of leaves. Oh, Mel, the greatest gift that, Mother Earth is giving to us right now, putting on her best dress for us in all of these beautiful colors to say, listen, yeah, this is how much, that the two-leggeds mean to me. I'm going to put on my most colorful dress for you. Children, yes, the beautiful gifts. Again, joining from my back garden. And please say hello to the beautiful blue jays. Oh, yes, Boatting, my relation, Samantha. We are in the same territory, my friend, and it is our sacred territories. So keep looking at that chat and what some beautiful people are saying, okay? Now, my friends, we are going to be going to the next one, okay? We're going to be going to the next one, but you need to be prepared for this. Now, let's not crash Zoom, but I'm going to ask you, but only if you have stable Wi-Fi, to make sure you're still muted, but I want you to, again, turn your videos on, okay? Only if you have stable Wi-Fi. So video on, but make sure you're still muted. So try it. Video on, video on. It's okay. We can see your beautiful faces. Oh my goodness, these beautiful people. All right, turn your videos on. My goodness, look at these brilliant minds today. Some recurring visitors I see that I get to, again, enjoy this week. Now, videos on, okay, of course, and we're going to keep ourselves muted. Now, you need to be ready for the next phase of truth and reconciliation in K to 12, all right? So we're going to get ready in a good way. So we're going to do an activity. And this activity, my friend, okay, involves you finding an object. Grab an object, any object. Now, if you don't have good Wi-Fi and you had to keep your video off for a reason, I want you to pick an icon that means yes and an icon that means no. But if you're sitting at home, video's on, get ready. I got to shake it up, get loose here, get loose, get ready. Grab your object. And I want you to take that object, move it to your right, move it to your right. Now, in your right, that means yes, okay? It means yes. Take that object, move it to the left. That means no, okay? Right is yes, left is no. In the middle, none of your business, okay? You're giving me the message, none of your business, Pam, okay? Or I don't know. So I'm gonna ask you this first question, all right? First question, all right? So if you, beautiful friends, okay, beautiful friends, are absolutely, okay, absolutely excited, okay, excited about education, show me with a yes, a no, or I don't know, or none of your business. Took some thought, but that's okay, okay, and it's all right. Now, put it back, get ready, get ready. Now, if you, okay, so if you are like, you know what? I believe in the voices of our young people. Yes, no, or I don't know, or none of your, then I would say yes. Now, if you, okay, are, okay, if you are a brilliant, unique individual that exists on the face of the planet, let me know. Yes, no, or I don't know, or none of your business. It better be yes. All right, okay. Now turn your videos off, my friends. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. Videos off, videos off. So remember, if I do, okay, so for example, if my video does freeze, my friends, okay, I'll be back in 20 seconds. You know, Wi-Fi works like that, okay? Digital world still has kinks. Now, I am going to pull up again our beautiful visual organizer, okay? Whiteboard, I know you're impressed, okay, by my abilities to draw. So am I. Although many students would laugh at mine, and they have, okay? You should see how I draw a moose, my friends. You should see how I draw a moose. Now, so this is where we're at. We drew our sacred circle. We have 4 quadrants. We've numbered them 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1, we've named ourselves, okay, which is part of self-identification. We've located ourselves, so where it is that we are, again, digitally entering into this beautiful seminar with each other today. Okay, so I'm Pam. I live here in Nisswakamuk, which is Sudbury, all right? And you also had to record something, okay, that you love about the place. Okay, the place that you occupy. And I am going to put this, what I love about my place is this, okay? I love my, okay, now I know you're impressed, okay, is my more, okay, my more than human beings, all right? So more than human, and that also includes my pups, again, you know, the stars, the moon, all of it is beautiful. Now, I want you to go to number 2. Go to number 2, because we're going to have another activity, all right? Another activity. So, number 2, some of the things, you know, when it comes to K to 12, you know, when it comes to truth and reconciliation in K to 12. So, what are some important things? September 30th, my friends, this Thursday, okay, let me reaffirm it. This Thursday, even though it is not a statutory holiday here in Ontario, and I, you know, don't really want to call it, it's not a holiday because it's actually the 30th is the National Day, you know, really about remembrance. It's the day that's devoted to truth and reconciliation. It is a time for educators, for citizens, for family and friends, for us to sit back and reflect, right? It's a reflective time. So we prepare for that time in a good way. So how do we do that, right? How do we do this in a good way, my friends? And there are so many ways. Maybe we're going to be in our classrooms, you know, working with our beautiful students. Maybe we're going to be at home. I don't know what it is, but let's think about ways that we can engage in truth and reconciliation together. And we've already started, right? And by starting, it's about naming place, right? And also knowing the traditional territories, but asking yourself, when you're in traditional territories, what does it compel you to do? So I ask you to think about it in this way, okay? Think about it in this way. think about the things that you love in your home and place, all right? The traditional territories that you currently, are settled in, right, are also, again, the lands and territories that are beloved by Indigenous peoples of those lands, right? So think about it. What does it compel you to do every day? Does it compel you to walk in a good way? Does it compel you, again, to be open-minded or else to be kind? What does it compel you to do to be in those places, the traditional territories of, again, of various Indigenous nations? So I first would ask you, find out whose traditional territories they are. That's the first entry point as well. So next, my beautiful friends, and I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is, again, going to be work we're going to do in the number 2 quadrant. All right, so get ready. Going to share my screen, and we've got my beautiful PDF in front of you. Now, the calls to action that apply here right now, okay, in K to 12. All right, so these are the ones that apply to us. So these are the things I want you to think about in number 2. So at your schools, or else in your profession, or else in your work, my beautiful friends, all right? Do you, okay, so do you have, my beautiful friends, available to you, all right? Curriculum on residential schools, on treaties, or on the historical and contemporary contributions of Indigenous peoples. So ask yourself, so go to that quadrant and either just do a check, okay, or put down that, yes, I have curriculum, okay, I have access to curriculum. Now, if you're thinking, well, how do I get access? Well, 74 school boards, and each school board does have an Indigenous lead, all right? Does have an Indigenous lead, but there's always, access to Indigenous friendship centers, again, Indigenous health access centers, and so many other resources. Go to the Truth and Reconciliation website. There is all kinds of activities there. So do you have that? So check or, indicate some way that you have it. Not only that, my friends, okay, not only that. Do you as well, okay? Now you're doing this right now, okay? You're doing this right now. Do you, again, have an opportunity, okay? Do you have an opportunity, all right, to share information, okay? To share information with each other, okay? With each other on, okay, residential schools, or else on the truth, the history of Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples. So again, go to number 2. Do you have that? Now, here's one of the most important ones. Now, this one right here, this call to action, my friends, this is critical, all right? So, and this is something that you probably do right now, okay? So, one of the most important things in K to 12, the call to action that just bellows, please, please make sure that I am embedded, is this one. Do you provide activities that build student capacity for intercultural understanding, empathy, and mutual respect? Okay, do you? So I'm going to talk about that. So stay at number 2. And you're probably wondering, listen, okay? Listen to Luce, okay? Listen to Luce, okay? Maybe, maybe not. So why is call to action, that's 63.3, one of the most significant ones in the calls to action? And why does it have the most impact in K to 12? So let me tell you, all right? It's just like a house, right? The house, we got the foundation, right? We got the foundation, of course, you might have your footings, and, then we've got the structure, then we frame it, the insulation, there's all kinds of parts to that structure. Well, Truth and Reconciliation is also like this beautiful, evolving and living structure. And what do we need? Of course, we need lessons and resources on residential schools and on treaties and on contributions and on history. But you can have the best curriculum in the world, the best lesson plans in the world. But if the students don't have an emotional, a physical and intellectual or spiritual connection to the material and to each other, then really the curriculum itself and those lessons don't have the breadth of impact that they could. So what is it, right? And you're thinking, spiritual, why would you bring this up today? So what is the spiritual? The spiritual is, so think about it when you're teaching, treaties or residential schools, and I'm going to give you a ton of resources that are safe ways to enter into this as well. But when you are, my friends, okay, I want you to think about it, right? do the students, have an opportunity to have meaningful connections with each other? Are they able to empathize and relate to the content, right? At a level that is understanding to them? Does it have a real world connection, right? So the spiritual is about having meaningful connections between each other and something greater than ourselves. The emotional is about community. How during, the creation and the delivery of these lessons, do you create community, okay, with learners and with yourselves? And community, right, is foundational. How do you share? How do you laugh? How do you develop critical thinking as part of those lessons in K to 12? Not only that, right, the intellectual is really focused in on the resources and of course the curricular expectations themselves, right? So do we have a combination of mini lessons, right? Mini lessons that have meaningful activities, right? And meaningful resources. And the physical is the engagement, right? So how are we engaged, right? How is the classroom space, person to person, face to face, or virtually, okay? How is it set up? Now, beautiful people, okay? Sacred Circle teachings. And now I'm going to share with you, some of the things of how we begin. So we're going to, again, there's those calls to action, okay? Beautiful calls to action. And, they're starting to, again, come to life in school boards. Now, the truth. So let's go to number 3. So I'm going to pull my whiteboard up again. All right. So at number 2, I went through some of the calls to action that apply to K to 12. And you might have been like, yes, okay, check. I have access to curriculum and lesson plans and resources on residential schools, treaties, the history of Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples and the contributions, check. And then maybe you also said, yes, check. I have the opportunity to share in wise practices or take PD, which you are right now, about truth and reconciliation. Now that could be a check. Now, the final one was this, do you, provide the opportunities and space for building of intercultural understanding, empathy, and mutual respect? Now let's go to number 3. Okay, number 3. So I'm going to guide you in some activities here in number 3. All right. Now that looks like a potato, but I'm just trying to highlight where we're going to be. So number 3. So the truth, my friends. Okay, the truth. Truth is all about unlearning. All right. That's really what it is. It's about unlearning what we think we know about First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Reconciliation is relearning. So it's about, listen, how do I learn to have a relationship with Indigenous peoples or content or pedagogy in a good and meaningful way? So I got a good, truthful story for you. So I want you to follow along, okay? And at your number 3 quadrant, I want you to record what you think the key message is here. And it's a message of truth coming from young people, okay? So coming from Anishinaabe people, Algonquin youth, from Temiskaming First Nation, all right? So what do you think their message is? Because this is a message that is all about truth, okay? It is all about truth. So get ready. It is beautiful, okay? Number 3, what do you think their message is to you and to me, okay, about truth and reconciliation? Get ready, beautiful peepsters. This is called The Water Between Us.
Children feel so alone. We grew up fast, moving from home to home. Not sure if I'm wanted, got no place to go. Need someone to talk to before I explode. It's like we are strangers that never speak. Cause as we grow up, it's like our love becomes weak. But the deeper inside, I know there's no we can be. Cause behind those walls, we are family.
No optimism misery, a tragic soul. Let's talk to each other, bring back the hope. We'll keep on failing if we don't rise to the challenge. Stop blaming, we can't do it single-handed. Real addictions have us getting sick and tired. I sit here listening and wishing to get inspired. Politicians are living liars, they tell us fiction. We want traditions, that is the fire.
Going through setbacks, losing identity, held down so much we don't know the enemy. Drinking and shaming, it's time to let go of so many kids that gotta be grown-ups. We've been ignored, they're not paying attention. So many habits, we fade in depression. Trust me, I'm trying to change the connection. We sing for the love, serenade through expression.
Those who feel unstable, like kiddos in care, sisters with no mother. I know life is unfair. Like mama, stay strong, survivor of the abuse. That kid who doesn't know why. I know I've been in your shoes. The drum that isn't played, that song that isn't sung. The elder in pain that could come in need of love. For those who are lost, a child who has to be old, a daughter who will be born, a son with no one to hold.
We know the situation, we aren't scared. Nowadays our home, keep the youth aware. The pain in the game, playing truth or dare. A bright future, I wanna see you there. Show appreciation for the right path. I wanna see my nation fight back. The land's taken, hands shaking, my heart's breaking. An emotion you might grasp.
The love and the peace, the medicine is found. Laying up the sage, we get it from the ground. Keep it sacred, Anishinaabe proud. Beat of a drum, we should hear it all around. Support through the times with trust and affection. Finding self-love is the purest reflection. Sing from your soul to escape the oppression. Water is life, serenaded for lessons. The water, it heals. The water reveals. It keeps us alive. It cleanses our spirit. Young and old, you should never be told who you are. Just remember that your roots are strong and that water is life.
All right, my beautiful friends. So I'm going to stop sharing there. And at number 3, you were to think about, you can write or draw it or not do anything at all. What do you believe is those young people, those Algonquin youth, their message about truth, right? Because that's really what it's about. It's about truth. So you were to actually do that, my beautiful friends. Okay, you were to do that at the number 3 quadrant. You can write or draw it. So my beautiful friends, as you are doing that, okay, as you're doing that, all right, what I would like you to do is unmute yourselves, okay? Unmute yourselves, because I have a bit of a, again, almost like, a bit of an echoing activity. So get ready, unmute yourselves, okay? We're gonna be loud together, all right? Loud together, unmute yourselves, beautiful people, beautiful people. Nichkas, my good friends on this beautiful day, so unmute yourselves if you can. All right, so I'm going to say a word, my beautiful friends, and then you're going to, again, repeat part of it back. All right, so we know this activity as educators. So when I say Debway, you're going to say win, okay? Debway.
Win.
Let me try this again. Debway.
Win.
Let me get closer. Debway.
Win.
Ah, All right, let's put that together, friends. Deb Waywin, try it.
Deb Waywin.
Oh, yes, you're speaking music to my ears, multilingual people. So, gonna have you again mute yourselves again. So go ahead, mute yourselves. You're like, oh my goodness, what kind of a seminar is this? Now, Deb Waywin, all right? So I can't help it. You know, I'm Anishinaabe. I'm rooted here. I'm rooted in who I am. You know, I'm rooted in my name. I'm Wase Ekawabekwe, she that looks ahead. I'm rooted in my clan, Dodem, Ganoje Dodem, which is the Pike people. We're the original teachers and mediators. And I'm from Sagmuk, Zgamuk, Donjaba. My community is called Sagmuk. It's 90 minutes down the road from Sudbury, okay? From Sudbury. So every place, right? So every place that is here, right, has meaning to my people, to Anishinaabeg, right? So that's my community. But what is Zgamuk really? So our people, right? So our traditional territories, every place had a name, just like Toronto, the T-Dot. You know what it is? It's the Big Smoke, and it was called that for a reason. But every single location, geographical location and place of significance, right, has meaning to a particular nation. So here, now I live in Nisquamish, Greater Sudbury. What is Nisquamish? It means the place, you know, where again, three peoples meet. And that would be the Francophones, the Anglophones, and of course, our beautiful nations. Sagmuk, my own community, Zgamuk, was where our, you know, our beautiful, again, nations, Anishinaabe people, you know, our particular clans would actually gather in Zgamuk, you know, during the summer months, okay, during that very short window, because it was where we got the best sturgeon, okay, because we knew it. That's where we went to go and harvest, all right? So we did it. All these places have meaning, all right, meaning to the land. So number 3, you know, stay at number 3, my friends. Okay, so stay. So you were to pull out a meaning about truth related to that song, because those Algonquin youth, you know what, they know what they're talking about. They're like, listen, okay, we're telling you and schooling everybody, this is what truth means to us. It is not only about the water, but it's the messaging. You know, it's like, listen to us. You know, we have something to say that is important. And truth and reconciliation is really about this, right? This and this, right? That's what it's about. It's about listening twice as much as this, listening twice as much as we speak. So we're going to be listening to some more stories, not just mine, okay? Because with, again, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation coming up on Thursday, right? That is the time to really stop and listen. So stay at number 3. I'm going to guide you in an activity. And if you color outside of that, no big deal. So going to be going, okay, back to my presentation. Let me pull it up, my beautiful friends. Here we go. So we had the calls for action. And we always need to start with the truth. And the truth is really about unlearning. So I want you to stay at number 3. And I'm going to talk about these particular values, okay? So again, these values. So as an Anishinaabe, okay, now we got other Anishinaabe here today too, okay? Now Anishinaabe, you know, what an honor it is to share this space with you today as well. You know, joining us, you know, from Garden River, from Bawating. Now, we need to think about, again, you know, the truth is really about investigating, okay, in our schools in K-12. Now, some people call this character education. Some people call it social emotional learning. But let's really start thinking about the values that are really present, okay, and reaffirmed in our schools. Let's think about, you know, even on the report cards, the types of skills that are consistently, again, like, you know, being reinforced. You know, sometimes it's called self-regulation, whatever it may be. But listen, let's think about these values. And these are values that we're going to call the technological and the traditional, all right? So the technological represents this side of the world. Here it is. Oh my goodness. It is this world that we are currently, okay, existing in. The world of social media, digital literacy, and all of that business, okay? All of us are immersed in this right now. Now, the traditional side. So I'm going to give an example here. The traditional side represents a particular value set, that again, comes from a lot of our traditional cultures. So when I think about my own totem and my own family, my own clans, and the original teachings, right? These are some of the things that come from our teachings. Now, here's where the real disconnect is. Our K-12 students operate in the technological world. And, we all, especially our learners, our Indigenous learners, also a lot of our traditional values are rooted over here. So I'm going to give you some examples. And I want you to select the values that you're like, you know what? Yeah, I get it. I see the conflict all the time. All right. So here we go. All right. So in the technological world, humor has its place. All right. So in other words, laughter, right? So laughter has a place in time, right? So it really does, it has its place. But in our traditional world, especially, back at home in Sagamok and the community and with my relations, humor for us is a sign of trust. Okay, so it's a sign of trust. Now, I want you to take a look at this. Okay, so youth versus aging. The technological world, go into social media. That's all you got to do. Doesn't take much. What is valued is staying young, looking young, and remaining young. However, in our traditional societies, what is valued is the process and the journey of aging, becoming an elder or a Métis senator or else a knowledge keeper, right? What else? So technological world, this again directly relates to the curriculum. Okay, is talking and eye contact. We have it right in the oral communication, okay, right in the oral communication, expectations and language arts, right? So how do we measure it, right? Oh, people are good communicators if they can talk in this way and standardize English and or standardize French and make eye contact. Well, in the traditional societies, when I am, with again, my knowledge keepers, what do we value? Silence. Of course, that was intentional, my friends. And, we don't need to necessarily have eye contact, to show that we're listening. Now, let's take a look at this, right? So here's, again, something that's really important. So the technological world, there's a real focus, again, on individual growth, right? Individual growth and, focus on competition. And, that's what we're immersed in. It's everywhere, right? It's in this technological world. But meanwhile, traditional societies, right? And our traditional values and teachings talk about the importance of community. What can we do to give back? How can we cooperate and think about the greater good? Now, this is going to shock you, all right? Might shock you, but the technological world, we're a very rights-based society. It's everywhere. It's like, I have the right to this. I have the right to make choices about everything. We are a very right-based society, which is why we have so much litigation and so much courts, right? And the court system is backlogged. But our traditional societies often talked about responsibility. So I'm going to stop there. Responsibilities is probably one of the fundamental things, especially Anishinaabe people, and you'll see these common ties between the 500 nations, is that we talk about our responsibilities first, our responsibilities to the land, our responsibilities to our children, our responsibilities to the elders, our responsibilities to education, right? So there's this disconnect, right? So think about it. Think about character education and think about when you're embarking in on a journey of truth and reconciliation with your students or with yourself, what value set, right? Are you, what value set are you, again, either honoring or else are you trying to challenge? All right. So again, you're going to put that in number 3. Okay. Put it in number 3. Now, beautiful people. I'm just going to pull this up. Okay. Pull up the whiteboard. I know you're going to be shocked again by my drawing. Okay. Quite beautiful. So number 3 was where you were going to identify or not a particular value that you see at conflict. Okay. At conflict, maybe in schools or at home. I don't know. Okay. The one thing that I definitely see, my friends, is this whole thing. Okay. The whole value set for me definitely is the whole one of humor, right? So again, humor. So please understand, right, that humor is actually a sign of trust, okay, is a sign of trust. So go to number 4. We're going to start working in number 4, my friends, all right? go to number 4. Now, at number 4, all right, I'm going to walk you through an activity. Okay, I'm going to walk you through an activity. So we started with, the calls to action, right? And inclusion. Okay, so calls to action. So the ones that apply in K to 12. And I asked, okay, listen, do you have access to curriculum or lessons on residential schools, treaties, Indigenous, history, or else I'll say our story, and Indigenous contributions. So here's the thing, right? So at number 4, so what you're going to do record at number 4 is your key takeaway. All right, key takeaway. So especially when it comes to curriculum, all right, you always want to make sure, right, that there is, the presence, all right, of, again, the local our story, which is why you have to have relationships, right, with the Indigenous lead at your school board, or else with the organization, again, the First Nations, Métis and Inuit, Education Association of Ontario, or with the Indigenous language teacher, or with the community, or of course, reach out to Good Minds and also, take a look at their collection of beautiful resources, right? So we start with the local, then work outwards. Not only that, you can have the best curriculum in the world in K to 12, right? That is focused in on truth and reconciliation, but the pedagogy, all right? Are you using the sacred circle, all right? Do you think about, how it is that we teach to the whole the whole learner? Do we think about, the physical, the emotional, the intellectual, and of course the spiritual, which I talked about earlier, right? So how do we teach? Do we differentiate it? Not only that, how do we assess? Same questions. Is it differentiated and is it holistic? The other thing is relationships, okay? Relationships, gotta have them, right? So do you have relationships with the local nations, again, local First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, right? Not only that, do you have connections to the land? What type of land-based education are you doing, right? That is, again, integral to truth and reconciliation, is having learners being able to connect with something greater than themselves that is outside of the classroom, and to connect with the more than human beings, all right? So absolutely important, okay? So again, what is your key takeaway? Now, beautiful friends, I'm just going to pull this up and you're going to get a copy of all of this, all right? So again, I wrote this a couple of years ago. And again, it's like, how can we embed truth and reconciliation in every school? And you'll get this. And this is all about that call to action. How do you build student capacity for intercultural understanding, empathy, and mutual respect? So do you have with your students, relationships with Indigenous peoples? Do you attend community events, all right? National Indigenous Peoples Day, Louis Riel Day, the Arctic Games, round dances, community meals, or have critical conversations, right? So do you have relationships? Have you been doing outreach? And if you haven't, you know what? I think that, a good place to start is to start reflecting on Thursday, all right? And reach out to those leads. Not only that, do you learn from local knowledge keepers outside the school in those culturally relevant spaces? Have you ever been on a medicine walk? Have you ever embarked on a Living with the Land project, or been to a sharing circle, or else a powwow, or else a language camp? So think about that. Have you been engaged in community outreach? All right. So again, what is your key takeaway and what can you do? And put that in number 4. Do you know what Project of Heart is? Check it out, because it's schools across Canada that engage again in activities that come from students, right? Come from learners about connecting again to truth and reconciliation in a meaningful way. Orange Shirt Day, Thursday, wear them. You know what? Wear them. It's important. So again, do you participate in that? Do you participate in I am a witness, or walking with our sisters, or Shannon's dream, or do you know what Jordan's principle is, or the Red Dress Project? All right. So these are things that are so important, right? So important. It's important to participate in experiential activities. If you get the opportunity, my friends, to again sit and to be able to participate in a Kairos blanket exercise that focuses in on, again, the Indigenous our story, do it. I tell you, it is an experience that you cannot replicate, all right? So not only that, do you actually sit and evaluate your own growth and collective growth in a holistic way. All right. So here are some ways to do that, my friends. Now, I'm going to stop right there. So you're at number 4. Now, my gorgeous peepsters, you gorgeous individuals, okay? What's going to be happening, and you always have the right, okay, you always have the right, my friends, to pass. This is going to be a very, again, it's going to be a very short, okay, very short breakout room. And let's call this breakout room, it's not even going to be like, it's going to be like 4 minutes. You're going to be asked to join, so join it. Meet those beautiful people there, okay? Meet them. Let them know who you are. But also share with them your key takeaway so far, because truth and reconciliation is about having the humility to say, I don't know, okay? I don't know, but how about we learn together and find out? So, gonna be sending you to some rooms, but please come back, because we are going to be looking at some resources. I'm going to give you a K-12 list of suggested books that are appropriate in residential schools and treaties, and also the contributions of Indigenous peoples. 4 minutes, you're going to be going to a room. Don't be scared. Be brave, my friends. Be brave and head over now. They're open. They're open. Head on over. Go see a friend. It's all good. Go and see a friend and then come back, okay? So go and join a room, my beautiful friends. I'm proud of you as you head on over. So what I'm going to do at this time, while you're headed off to a room, okay, beautiful friends, is I'm actually going to stop my own video and again, mute myself, because I'd like to go and check out what people are saying, okay? Want to go and see what kind of brilliance is being spread around here. So I'm going to stop my video and mute myself. So please head off to a room. And if you don't have the ability to head off to a room, then please feel free to review your visual organizer and be prepared to share. All right, miigwech. Welcome back, you gorgeous people. Welcome back. So as you come back, I'm going to ask you again, my beautiful friends, just to mute yourselves. Okay, so let's try to not crash Zoom here, but keep your video on because we're going to be going into the last part of our time together. Okay, the last 20 or so minutes. Keep your videos on, okay? Let me see your gorgeous faces, okay? They're beautiful. There's no one else like you in this whole universe. You should be sharing it wherever you go. There's billions of people on this planet and there's only one you. Come on. How spectacular is that? So, beautiful friends, videos on, mute yourselves, okay? Mute yourselves. Now, next step, okay, as videos are on, you're muted, all right? We need to get ready for this next leg, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it standing up. You can visualize it or else you can do it at your chair. This activity, all right, this activity is called MIPTO, okay? It's called MIPTO. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing MIPTO. I want you to get your arms to the side. So remember, you can also just visualize. So if you have particular, like, health concerns, then you can just visualize. It's no big deal. So get ready, put your arms to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to MIPTO. We're going to MIPTO, and that means we're going to run on the spot. Okay, we're going to run on the spot. Get ready, MIPTO. We're going to MIPTO. We're going to MIPTO. We're MIPTOing forward. Stop, stop, stop. Whoa. All right, let's MIPTO back through time. MIPTO backwards, MIPTO backwards, MIPTO backwards. Stop. All right, we've gone to the past. MIPTO, MIPTO back forwards. Let's welcome ourselves back to the present, which is really now the future. All right, take a good breath. All right, take a good breath. That tuckered me out. Oh, let it out. One more time. Let it out. Thank goodness. So MIPTO is running forward, okay? So MIPTO in Ojibwe, Shnabemwin, is run, right? MIPTO, MIPTO, and you can feel it, right? Our languages sound like the actions. MIPTO, right? We're gonna run. So this next 20 minutes, we're going to be running. So you can turn off your videos now, my friends, turn them off. Okay, or else you're gonna get me booted out of here. You're gonna be booted out of Zoom. All right, now we're going to number 4, okay, please. Now I might freeze. I've told you this before, and I think I might have froze right now. So, Katina, am I frozen or am I still here? Thank you, Katina. All right, I never know. All right. All right, so let's go to number 4, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, of course, right? You know what our sacred circle looks like, all right? So what we were doing is we were just writing our key takeaways, but we're going to stay with the key takeaways. So I'm going to stop sharing, all right? Now I'm going to go, to a couple of ideas, okay? So I'm actually going to pull it up. Now, here's what happens, okay? So here's what happens. I'm going to tell you something. All right. So I want you to get in a little bit closer. Okay. Get a little bit closer. I'm going to tell you something that when it comes to truth and reconciliation, the most important words you need to know are these 3. I don't know. Okay. It's okay. Okay. I don't know. Now, why is that important? Because it relieves the burden that us professionals that we have to know everything. One of the greatest fears of educators is getting things wrong, right? It's like, well, I'm afraid to do these things because what if I get it wrong, right? I'm not, I don't have an expertise in Indigenous content, all right? Yeah, you know what, that probably is a realistic statement. So if you're looking for an entry point or else for resources that are again, meaningful, authentic, and culturally relevant, always ask your Indigenous lead, all right? So that's the go-to. But not only that, here's another way, and I'm gonna show you how to do it, all right? And where you get the cultural teaching, okay? So you're like, what do you mean cultural teaching? It's not up to you to come up with the cultural teaching, all right? You know, I'm not an elder. So I'm not coming up with no cultural teachings. But what I do is I really rely upon my ability, again, to read critically. So I'm going to show you something, share my screen with you. And I've got it right here. Okay, I've got it right here. Now, here's Good Minds, some really great way to use text features. So if you are, again, you know, picking resources about truth and reconciliation. So again, resources that are, again, provide the foundation of the house, you know, so provide things like, you know, again, like, you know, the stories of residential schools, treaties, contributions, and history. It's like, okay, well, where do I find, you know, the good learning outcome, or else, you know, the cultural teaching? So I'm going to give you an example of how it happens. I'm just going to go and grab this book. So this is goodminds.com. Now, we are water protectors, all right? Beautiful, beautiful. What I love, okay, what I absolutely love, my friends, okay, about, okay, that I absolutely love, of course, about books that have been written, especially by, you know, wonderful Indigenous authors, you know, and that have been critically vetted by Indigenous peoples, is this, right? The description. So, come on. Now, the writers themselves, right? So again, the authors, they've already, like, you know what, they've already, you know, provided, you know, the learning outcomes and also the cultural teachings, right? So take a look, here it is, we've got it. Water is the first medicine. So you're not the one that has to come up with it, because it is already there. And honestly, the most respectful way is, again, to have the text speak for itself, and the engagement with the learners also be, you know, that platform for, again, for exploring the learning outcomes and also that particular teaching. Okay, so that is critical. So goodminds.com. Now, there is, of course, and there's all kinds of treaty, again, weak resources there, and there's appropriate books as well, of course, on residential schools. And look at just an assortment. So this is not just for Indigenous students, my friends. This is for non-Indigenous students. And it's about that, again, that call to action 63, building intercultural understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. These are beautiful stories that honor, okay, that honor. So again, and it goes like thousands and thousands. Good Minds, they're all critically vetted, and they also have it in several languages. So that's what we use, just good text features. You know, take a look at the back, the inside, or the descriptions, and that is the teaching or else the historical use, you know, of that particular, again, resource. So beautiful friends. Next step. So stay at number 4, and I'm going to share with you a couple of books. All right. And this comes from a book that I wrote a couple of years ago. Okay. So I'm giving you a couple of experts, and I'm going to come back to that. Right. So you're going to get this today, and I'll drop it in the chat. So residential schools, my friends, residential schools. So again, always vet them ahead of time, because you know your audience. Okay. You know your audience. But here are suggestions, and this comes directly from the literacy curriculum here in Ontario. All right, so suggested books by grade, and also the particular strand, okay, that it fits in, okay, or else that it, you know, is the most compatible with in the literacy curriculum. So I do that right from K to 3, okay, right through, okay, through to high school. All right. So I give examples, right? So I give the suggested book and how you would use that. All right. And what curriculum expectation that it meets. Okay. So that's what I do. So again, When We Were Alone, of course, by David Alexander, is appropriate for, again, for FDK. So that is really critical. And again, after listening to the story, you may have students create a collage of their families, encourage them to discuss the similarities between themselves and the characters from the story. What is it, you know, that they love about family? That is a safe entry point. Not only that, okay, if you are going to teach treaties, I also, again, and this comes directly from the curriculum, okay, Ontario curriculum, I give you suggested books and examples from the curriculum, the expectation, and how to connect that particular resource with the expectations, okay? And I do that again, right through, okay, right through, my friends, through to grade 12, all right? So that's how I do it. Now, last one. This one, love it, love it, love it. So again, this is connected directly to the science curriculum, the contributions, my friends, of Indigenous peoples. So I give an example. Here it is, kindergarten science curriculum, problem solving and innovating. So the suggested book is 13 Moons on Turtle's Back. So I give an example of how it is that you would incorporate it under this particular learning expectation and outcome in the kindergarten curriculum. Then I do it all the way through 1 through to, again, grades 1 to 3, the junior division, the intermediate division, and then secondary, okay, secondary. So beautiful friends, I'm going to be dropping that again into the chat very shortly. Now, beautiful friends, all right. The most important thing that I want you to think about at number 4, besides your key takeaways, okay, besides that, besides the fact you got to meet some beautiful people on the other side in the breakout rooms, is this. All right, look at your visual organizer. And I want you to think about your role, whether it's an educator, an administrator, and a consultant, a parent, a guardian, an auntie, whatever it is, right? Become an accomplice. And how do you do this already? So what am I asking, right? So many of us will consider ourselves allies or accomplices. So an ally, is a person that thinks critically, that's informed, that has a relationship with Indigenous communities and peoples. And what they will do is that they will stand with the community, right? They will stand with them and they will listen and they will engage in a good way, right? But I'm going to tell you what an accomplice does. What an accomplice does is they say, listen, okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to look at the curriculum, all right? I'm going to look at the curriculum and I am going to find ways. I am going to find ways to present voices that have not been heard in a good way, all right? And what I'm going to do is I am going to take these structures and curriculum and I'm going to ensure that those voices are heard in a good way. And maybe you're an administrator and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to take this policy and I'm going to go, ooh, and I'm going to take this policy and stretch it so we can make space for Indigenous peoples and their resources and their living stories. That's what we're going to do. So an accomplice dismantles those structures and makes space. An ally stands with the people, and we need both, right? We need both. How do you do this already? You could be doing it by making space, by being here and saying, I want to be able to have those relevant resources. So beautiful friends, all right, beautiful friends. So what I am going to do, just as, again, just to kind of not so much close this off, because we're going to be actually sharing a couple of things beforehand, all right? A couple of things beforehand is, again, I'm going to show you 2 things, all right? So I'm just going to go to the screen, okay? While I'm doing this, look at your sacred circle. Pick one thing that stands out to you. Pick one thing, my beautiful friends, that stands out to you. Now, you're going to get this. What I'm going to ask you, my friends, hopefully today, all right, is to, again, once we've shared a bit, and I've answered some questions, I would ask that you complete a survey on this session, okay? Definitely complete the survey. And I have a beautiful friend here, Katina, that is going to be thanking our sponsor for today, Intel, and, again, hosting a draw for people here. So you're going to go to this link and you're going to, again, of course, you're going to see my name there, Dr. Pamela Rose Toulouse, and the workshop that we're there. And there's my contact info, beautiful friends. Okay, there's my contact info. And again, this document will be yours. And plus these resources will be sent out. All right. So look at your beautiful visual organizers. Okay, your sacred circles. Now go to the chat and put your key takeaway there. Now you can do that if you'd like or not. Here's the other thing. All right. Be brave. Be very courageous and brave, my beautiful friends. What I would also like you to do and like you to think about, right, is again, you can share your key takeaway by just unmuting yourself, putting up your hand, giving a symbol. You're like, listen, I need to say this. Or else if you're like, you know what, I still have a question, please unmute yourself and ask, all right? Or go to the chat, my beautiful friends. So, now, let me know. Beautiful friends, put your key takeaways again in that beautiful chat. All right. All right. All right. So now, beautiful friends, who has something that they would like to share, or a question that is like just burning? They're like, you know what? I still want to know this. Okay. You can put the question in the chat and I will try to monitor the chat. Okay. Oh, I like this. Look at these key takeaways. My goodness. All right. Love it. Right. Again, 3 most important words in reconciliation. I don't know. You got it. And truth is really, it is. It's about unlearning what we think we know, right? And it is. And it's okay to say, I don't know. So, and it is. It's important to know our place, right? Our, you know, to name ourselves. That is so critical. You know what? My people, Nishnaba people, we want to know, of course, that you're an educator and administrator, but you know what? How our kids also really relate. Who are you as a 2-legged human being, right? What is it that you like? What are your greatest loves? You know, what are some of your own challenges? That is the connecting point for us. So let me know, my friends, okay, what's going on in your part of the virtual universe and in your place. So please feel free to share something, okay, if you want to. And it's okay if you don't want to. Thank you. Yes. Actions do have to be more than performative. That includes the land acknowledgements. Ask the question, what does it compel me to do, right? What does it compel me to do? All right, beautiful peepsters. Who wants to share? Who wants to share? Who wants to unmute themselves and show their beautiful faces, or just unmute themselves? Let me see. Let me see. Is there a brave soul? Put up a symbol. Put up a symbol. You can do it, my friends. Okay. Key takeaway, anything at all, a resource you're actually going to pursue. Now I'm going to go and put, of course, from my computer, the presentation from today, my friends. Okay. And it's going to be right there. You'll see it. It's a PDF. All right. And it is going into the chat right now. All right. There it is. It's in the chat. All right. So I see a gorgeous Beverly. All right. Beverly, do you have something to share?
Well, I did put that truth is about unlearning and reconciliation is about learning, but I will say my audience is high school, and that video is really heart-wrenching, and that's something that I will be sharing with my students in the classroom along with the Sacred Circle activity.
Yeah, again, thanks a lot, Beverly, for that. So again, like, it is so greatly appreciated. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the name, okay, of the actual group, you know, because it's an organization. All right. It's an organization, and I'll put it there. They're called Noet Jinin. And what they do is that they work with Indigenous youth across Canada, you know, to create songs and produce music and videos based upon what their interests are and experiences. Okay. Now that particular song was called The Water Between Us. Okay.
Yeah.
The Water Between Us. So it is there. The other thing that I'm also going to put in the chat, okay, please take it, folks, besides the actual document, all right, is, again, you're going to have the books that I'm suggesting there. I'm also going to put the link to Good Minds, all right, the link to Good Minds. Now, is there anybody else out there that's like, you know what, I have this burning question or else something that I absolutely need to share? Please just unmute yourself and share. Yeah, you can just do that. Yeah, it's all good. So I'm going to put my Good Minds in. All right. Is there anything else that you're like, you know what, I need to know this? Or let me know if you plan, you know, to my beautiful friends, let me know if you plan to be wearing your orange shirts. All right. And if you have lessons for that. So take a look at the chat. I have Good Minds there. I'm also going to put one more resource. Listen, and it is a safe PDF. Okay. It's a safe PDF, and it is, again, American Contributions to the World. So I'm going to go and grab it for you right now. So I'm going to ask you to also open it. All right. And this PDF is going to be an eye opener for you. And this is, you know, after you have local, okay, after you have local, knowledge, okay, local resources in the classroom, or else, you know, ones that have been vetted by the, again, by the Indigenous lead. I would ask definitely, okay, I would ask definitely. So there it is. And those, again, those links are already in the chat, okay? And again, this video will be shared with you, so take a look. So the video is there, all right? And not only that, another resource, go and take a look, American Indian Contributions to the World, and all the gifts that we have given and continue to give, material and non-material, right? So think potato chips, chocolate, bridges, aqueducts, right? Right, toothpaste, deodorant, friendship. All right. So beautiful friends, I am going to ask the wonderful, the gorgeous Katina. Katina, come on board. Do we got a little draw for these gorgeous people and some words, wisdom?
Thank you so much. It has been such an incredible session today. And really, like, for me, it's a journey, and it's something like, as an educator for over 20 years with Toronto District, and now bringing this over to Dell, it's something that I've endeavored to do. And I do want to share with you that we have now started to do land acknowledgements before each of our meetings, which was something that never happened there. So really proud that we are doing that now, and just making sure that it is meaningful and that we commit to something. So that's something that I've learned to try and bring, but I know I just have so much more to learn. So thank you. Thank you so much for this. And again, from a Dell perspective, everybody's wearing an orange shirt on Thursday. So we have now all of our employee resource groups. As a company, we are putting out orange shirts for everybody. So I think that's a great first step for a lot of companies that are happening. And it's great to see what's happening in the schools, that we have leaders that we can talk to and reach out to. And I think that's so important. And thank you for sharing all these amazing resources. And I was kind of feeling, I don't want to get all excited about having a lucky draw, because this is such meaningful work that you're sharing with us. And we really do appreciate it all. But let's have a bit of a lucky draw. If you do want to participate, please do enter your name and email address into the form. And we'll do it right here, right now. We can do the wheel of names and we can spin for a couple of winners. So thank you to everyone. And I just, no words, Pamela, just for this Thursday and this new holiday for Canada. It's just very special. Thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Miigwech. So take a look, folks. I put some additional resources, of course. Okay, some additional resources, and those are right in the chat. All right. And these are, again, you know, things that, you know, you can immediately go to for immediate takeaways. And also embedded within my PDF, of course, is, again, suggested books by grade, linked to the Ontario curriculum, right, on residential schools, treaties, and contributions of Indigenous peoples. So take a look. Many of it is there. So go ahead, my beautiful friends. And as Katina is gathering the names for the draw, and they're quite good gifts, my friends. All right. And that is the way of our people always. Yeah. Anishinaabe people, you know, we've been known for our gifting, right? You know, anytime you come into our territory, it's important to bring gifts. The exchange of gifts is one of, again, the values and the norm practices, right? It's the norm to do those gifts as an appreciation. So, Miigwech people. So, Katina, you got some names there?
I sure do. Okay. Do you mind if I share my screen and we'll
Go
spin
right
the wheel?
ahead.
All right.
Okay.
Let's just get up here now.
Did you want me to make you a host?
No, I think I can do it.
Okay.
Let me know if people can see. Can everyone see it?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you. So we'll do a couple of spins. Here we go. Okay, congratulations to Rochelle and $25 gift, a $20 gift card for Uber Eats. Congratulations, Rochelle. And we'll do one more for today. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to do that one again just because it seemed to have a little bit of a blip there. So sorry, guys. Oh. We're going to try that one again. There, that's a better spin. Maureen Aslan.
Okay, Maureen, Luna.
So thank you very much, everybody, for attending. And this is from Dell and Intel in partnership with OECM. So we do appreciate you coming to the session, and please do fill out the evaluation, because as you know, we have a number of sessions happening from now until January, and the feedback you offer to us helps us to be guided in what sort of sessions that you would like, which is why we were able to get incredible sessions such as this. So thank you very much, Miigwech. Pamela, just thank you for everything. Really appreciate it.
All right. Bamampi, everybody, which in my language, just see you later. There's no good, this tells you about worldview. We have no word for goodbye in Anishinaabe, right? It's just see you later. If not in this world, then definitely the next, all right? So Bamampi, see you later, wonderful people. Sam, see you later, oh my Bawatting friends. All right, Bamampi, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And again, September 30th, time for reflection in orange shirts. All right.